Adam will start another halves combination this week.
Yep.
Tell us your thoughts with making that change.
A number of reasons. I think, look, first and foremost, I asked Jackson to go back and work on a couple of things in his game, and for the 2 games, but the training, the 2 weeks of training, he actually really applied himself to those things. So that was a reason. I want to have a look at him and Jack playing in a game together. We've had obviously some training runs over the summer where they've been together, but I think with the conditions, short turnaround, I just feel like it's the right thing to do certainly for this week. I think, as I said, the weather conditions, both of them have a really solid kicking game, so I think that'll hold us in good stead. But bottom line is I just want to have a look at him, and Jackson's gone about his work really well.
And they're both game managers. How important is game management in wet conditions?
Massive. It's probably the thing. I think both teams will play the same style. It's who manages or who executes it better.
And is it a case of one will be the general and one will be the B, or
look, if you were to add weight one to the other, I think Jackson will be the project manager, and Cogs will assist him with it.
And what type of player is Jackson after being down for 2 weeks? Is he the type of person that you could back to be really up for this game? Want to go and put on the show?
I can only go on his attitude towards training, and then what his attitude was with the New South Wales Cup side, and he done an exceptional job. So everyone's happy to have him back.
And that means that Tyson is the one that misses out. How's he taken the news, and how confident are you?
Naturally, I'm not going to lie to you. Naturally, these guys want to play first grade, and that's what I love about them. I don't want them to be doing cartwheels out of my office when I tell them, as long as I'm honest with the reasoning and give them a clear direction on what I want them to work on, which is what I did with Jackson. Then Tyson will, he's a clubman, he'll get on with the job this weekend. He already has, he trained well after the news yesterday. So, I expect him to go out and do what Tyson does best, and that's go and compete.
And there's been another key change with Jaden coming into his starting side. How excited are you to make that change and to have such a key member of your squad back on your starting line?
Yeah, I thought he was great when he came on, and it's not a reflection of anything around Phoenix. I had this planned well before we even played in New Zealand. I just thought on a 5-day turnaround to flip those guys around. One's been played limited minutes in Brails. We get 2 fresh guys back in, Leo and Gags, okay? I feel like Jaden will add a little bit more energy. Look, at the end of the day, we're on a 5-day turnaround, which is really 4 because you spend the whole day travelling from if you get 5 days after New Zealand, that's a pretty tough call. So we get 3 guys that bounce into training, and look, judging by the energy levels this morning and yesterday, the tank's full again and we're ready to go.
And just on Leo, of all games to miss, he unfortunately had to miss a homecoming in New Zealand. Expecting big things from him this weekend?
I expect Leo to be how he is every week, regardless of who we're playing. He's ready to play.
And the Dragons, what have you made of their start?
Yeah, good. I thought, especially last week against Manly, I thought there was a real difference in the 2 teams in their first sets. I think from memory that Manly went to shift the ball and made a bit of an error first set, and Dragons started really powerful. They rely on their back 5 to make metres, no doubt, okay? And they've got some big, powerful guys that want to bust tackles, and I think that'll suit tomorrow night's conditions. It won't be the big shift-to-shift stuff that they've used. They'll be relying on back rowers and middle forwards to bust tackles and guys like Lomax. So, to answer your question, we understand that we need to tackle well tomorrow night.
And the conditions have been a talking point, Adam. When you look back at pre-season training, have you had many opportunities to train in the rain, and how much does it change the game?
Oh, yeah, certainly. You have to play to the conditions. The game plans are game plans, but elements play a big part in it. Look, we've had some practice. We do scenario-based training. We understand the style that we need to play in those conditions. I think Townsville is very similar. It's not raining, but it's very slippery. So, and Mount Smart Stadium's a bit like that too. So, look, at the end of the day, both teams will play the same way. It's who gets it done.
With the halves switch-ups, a fortnight ago Ron said he was one of the happiest guys in Cup because he was getting a very senior player made available to him. What kind of conversations do you have with Ron as to not throw him too many curveballs with players that are made available for Cup level?
So was that Ronald, did you say?
Ron.
He understands that's his role in the team, is to develop guys that go back down there or guys that are coming up from flag. So yeah, he's fine. I don't have an issue with that. He understands that whoever goes back there plays a part. We're a club. We're not two teams.
And a lot of compliments recently for Will Price in his performances at cup level.
Yep.
Is that someone that you're keeping an eye on as to potentially if you need to make another halves combination change in
Yep.
the next few weeks?
I wouldn't say it'd be the immediate, I don't want to make, whilst I'm comfortable making these changes early in the season, we're 5 rounds in, I don't want to be doing them weekly. He is growing as a player, and I've got no doubt in his long-term ability. He's going to be an exceptional player for us. I think having senior guys or game managers beside him the last 2 weeks in Jackson, Hastings, and then now this weekend Tyson has only helped Will. So yeah, I don't have an end date for him. I know that he will get there, but I'm going to allow him to develop all parts of his game. So when he's ready, he's really ready.
Nari Tuala had a pretty solid game at the weekend.
Yep.
Are you looking forward, and what particularly are you looking forward to seeing this week?
He's, the thing with Nari, you know what you're going to get. He's ultra consistent, and he is that at training. And there's no doubt that the more consistent you are at training, the more consistent you are in games. I thought he was unreal over there on the weekend. He's only a small body, but for what he did against that team over there was exceptional, and I'm looking forward to seeing him repeat it. Their back five, the Dragons, and ours, I think we were second for run meters this weekend, and I know that that's a big focus of theirs. They pride themselves on getting their sets off to a good start out of the back of the field. Well, Nari plays his part in that for us.
And with Greg expected to be back hopefully in the next few weeks, is there going to be a thought of whether he's going to have to compete for the position held by Tom at the moment, or is it week by week?
Exactly that, week by week. I'm just worried about tomorrow night and guys going out and performing, and the rest of it will take care of itself.
Adam, with the halves, is it a bit like you're not quite sure yet who your best combination are, and you're still sort of working that out, or?
No, I think it's just an opportunity to have a look at. We've been pretty fortunate. We've got 3 capable guys there. It's just another opportunity for me to have a look at it.
I guess ideally though, you'd like to lock a couple in and keep them there for the long term.
Yeah, we're around 5. There's still 20 games to go. It's a long season.
Is that part of your thinking to test all the combinations early in the season at all, or is this more related to individual performances?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, both of those situations.
And Adam, last year you scored the most tries in the competition over the regular season. Great effort. This year they've been a bit harder to come by. How difficult is it to get the ball across the line, I guess, with Dom Young moved on and Greg Marju unavailable at the moment? How much does that sort of bring you back to the field, I guess?
Look, as I said, it's early days. I actually think that our first month of footy this year is better than last year. The easiest thing for people to do is to look at ladder positions and assume that we're not playing well. The intelligent person or rugby league person would see that there's a lot of good things going on in our game. Okay, the results aren't there, but they will come, and I feel that's the same way with our attack. We're not quite on all cylinders just yet, but we've got some time. It will come. As I said, we may need to tweak the way we do attack with the footy, given that we don't have Dom on the outside, okay, to run those length of the field type tries, but we'll get better as the season goes along in attack, there's no doubt. And as I said, I've been quite pleased with patches of our football this year, and I think it's a lot solid foundation than what it was this time last year.
Obviously be a factor tomorrow night, but have you been happy with the kicking game to date?
Yes and no. I think when we've been really good, we've been really good. I think the amount of times that we sat, their wingers inside that 10 by 10 box off their try line, I thought we'd done a really good job. It was trying conditions, especially in the second half over there. There's a big wind, and I expect that tomorrow. So, have we been 10 out of 10 every week? No, we haven't, but we haven't been awful either.
Adam, how important is it to sort of get a win so that you're not 1-4 tomorrow? You're sort of back in the hunt a bit. It's
always, as I said, it's always important to win footy games, especially at home. We aim to win every game. How crucial, as I said before, I don't look at ladders. September's probably when I look at the ladder, and that's when it's important. Right now is about making sure that we're continually to improve each week, sticking to the process, we'll be fine. We've been in worse situations than this.
Haven't been too far away like the last few weeks. Is it more a matter of individuals sort of icing a few moments?
Yeah, I reckon there's moments. I think for you talk about the Cowboys game, if we're in front the whole game except for one field goal at the end. Okay, we didn't manage that. If you get that game and then you beat Melbourne the next week and you go over and play like we did at the Warriors, the narrative's completely different. But as I said, that's probably why I made the point. Just look at the ladder and you'll assume we've been awful. But it's not the case.